Yo, what it is, everybody? Thanks for tuning back into another episode here on the Speedbug channel. Well, I want to talk to you a little bit about the issues and the problems that I have not really had with my bikes, and kind of let you know the miles and the milestones and everything that I've really come along with. But some of the few hiccups in maintenance that I want to touch base on, both the GSXRs that are currently in the garage. Like I said, may the best bike win. So let's start up. We have the GSXR 600 here. This bike has roughly about 5,500 miles, and it still has the original tires on it, the Bridgestone, what is it, Battle Axe or whatever. I personally think these tires suck. Obviously, I haven't changed them or anything like that. Why change them? Why, at least ride them out until they're pretty much gone. You already done paid for them. So, but obviously once these wear out, these will not be going on, but back on. But this tire is a little bit harder of a compound for the ones that don't know, and they do provide you with a little bit more miles than the traditional style or softer tire. So it is kind of nice that you do get the longevity out of them. But this bike is 100% stock. The only thing done to it is the tail delete. Still has a stock pipe, stock brakes, stock flash, ECU, everything. Hell, even the mirrors and stuff like that. So that also really helps when riding this bike, because it's also a 600, given the fact that it doesn't create the amount of torque and have to bite into the pavement as hard as the 1000s. As far as issues or anything with this bike, none, absolutely none, 100% whatsoever. Chain is good. Shifter is good, brakes are good, seats is good, lights are good, no burnt out even headlights or anything like that, no brake fade or anything like that. So this bike, since it's been within my possession, has been 100% absolutely problemless, flawless to the T. I have nothing but great things to say about it, but again, with this generation, the bugs and everything have been worked out. It's 600, a little bit less heat issues than some of the other 1000, so I really wouldn't expect much coming from this bike as far as any problems upon purchasing it and servicing it or anything else while the bike has actually been here within this garage. So 95% of all of the miles have come from the old lady, so even the few times that she's raced it and ridden it and things like that, again, nothing but great things on it. And hell, even the battery that's in it is still from 2015. So again, if you guys, as long as you don't let your battery die, you keep it charged, you keep it cycled and stuff like that, there's no reason for it to really, take a shit or die on you. I mean, to be 100% honest. And that's pretty much it. So I'll wrap it up here on this one, and then let's go over to the 1000. In the 1000, this is the bike I primarily ride, and of course it's pretty tastefully modded and stuff like that. But the one thing, this is a 17, and the only thing that I've kind of noticed on, which I've read that it was kind of a recall every now and then, sometimes when the bike starts up. And then, obviously when the bike starts to roll, the ABS and the tires have to see an input speed from the wheel speed sensors to calculate the traction control in the ABS. That's fine. The traction control system turns on, but sometimes the ABS system does not, and then you have to just reset the ignition. A little bit of annoyance, but I did read that there was a recall on the ABS system that does fix that. I've never taken it in to get serviced or anything like that. It really wasn't ever an issue, but it is what it is. It's really not the biggest deal, but sometimes it can be a little bit of an annoyance. As far as anything else with the bike, this bike is coming up here just on about 5K. I think it has like 48 or 4,900. And again, same thing with the 600. So with the ABS and that stupid light, again, not that the ABS doesn't work or anything, you just have to reset the bike. And like I said, it's an annoyance, but other than that, the bike has been 100% flawless. Quick shifter works, traction control system works, all the modes work, the brakes are good. A lot of people bitch and complain about the brakes on the 17 because the 17 has the rubber lines, and on the 18 they switched from rubber to stainless steel to kind of get rid of the sponginess feeling in your hand. Do I feel it a little bit? Yeah, it's there a little bit, but it's not really a big deal on the streets. Maybe if it was always on the racetrack, I could understand. I've ridden an 18. Is there a difference? Minute, but definitely nothing to make you feel, in my personal opinion, that you're going to get some false braking or have any type of false feel that, like, hey, I'm not going to be able to stop or continue on to do, or I don't want to ride the bike or anything like that. One thing I was really focusing on is the chain, specifically on the 1000, because of the amount of mid-range torque that it does create. And of course, I like to do wheelies and things like that. Have I seen any chain stretch or anything like that? Absolutely not. Besides the traditional normal chain stretch that you get when the bike is new. I have tightened the chain now for the second time on this bike. The first time when I first got it, I went on like the first 300 miles. And then I did it when I put a rear tire on it at like 4,000 miles. But it was so minute. I mean, I really didn't even need to really tighten the chain. It could have been where it was at and then been perfectly fine. I personally like to run the chains on the tighter side. Yes, I know that if you keep it loose, it frees up a little bit of, centrifugal loss and a little bit of horsepower, as some of the penny pinchers like to say, but I don't really care for the noise and for the slack. It's just a personal preference, and in my opinion. I like to run, a little bit tighter of a chain, and I like to feel that more direct drive, but no big deal. The factory chain, I think it's a 525 or 530. I'm not 100% sure. I think it's a 530. But either way, I could be wrong. Y'all can roast me in the comments if you want to later, but I know it's a 525 or 530, and the chain is perfect. I would for sure thought that this one would have stretched, and I would have had to end up going to get like, 15,000 pound tensile strength arcade chain or something like that, and it's been absolutely flawless. So that's really nice, and you don't have to service it. Yes, I know if you go down to a 520, you get less rotational mass, it's lighter, get to free up a little bit of horsepower, but you know what? I'm cool with it. The maintenance is super low on this chain, and that's been absolutely perfect. As far as the heat difference between the 600 and the 1000, yes, of course, this one does get a little bit hotter, given the fact that the engine is almost double the size and displacement. But again, Suzuki has always been fantastic and great about really keeping their bikes cool. Big, good radiator to keep everything cool. And just the bike actually just doesn't run as hot as some of the other bikes. Hell, even with the flash. And it's also going to run a lot cooler since my exhaust is pretty much a straight through design that allows all the heat to pretty much leave directly out of the cylinders and go right out the tailpipe. So that also does help as well. Again, like I said, the quick shifter's been flawless. The clutch has been flawless, even the launch controls and everything that I've done. The riding modes are fantastic and great. Ignition, I mean, everything has been flawless, and I haven't come up or seen any issues or anything with this bike. And like I said, I will 100% for sure tell you guys that if there's an issue with this thing, just like how the Ducatis are and stuff like that, or any of my other bikes, I'll tell you, hey, if all of a sudden next week this thing starts giving me hell and doesn't want to start or this, that, whatever, I'm going to let you guys know, because that's only fair. I can't sit here and say, just because as much as I love Suzuki, that it's going to be a perfect machine its entire life, which I don't anticipate it to be, but of course I have the expectation it's probably going to be better than most. But it's eventually going to screw up. I know it is, because it's a machine and it's going to break. So we'll see. And that's pretty much it. I did change the oil on it, rode it about 3,500 miles to kind of see exactly what it looked like and everything like that, and kind of rode it, pretty hard as well in the beginning. And the oil actually wasn't even that black, to be honest, as it would come out of like a car, or hell, some of the other bikes that maybe have low tension rings and stuff like that. Nonetheless, it shares the same oil with the clutch and the transmission. I intended it to see it kind of maybe a little bit darker, and it still had a good bronze tint to it, so that's actually really good. But everything's been good now. I'll probably have 1,000 miles on this oil change, and she's still trucking and holding along. So GSXR, in my opinion, for the win, at least for right now, until the next best thing comes out. And I know a lot of you guys have been talking about the new Fireblade that's coming out. cool. You know, hey, CBR makes a, not CBR, Honda makes a great bike, and hopefully the new CBR will do wonders for Honda, because I truly believe that unless you're a real CBR enthusiast and you just love that bike, they've kind of really been lacking. And it's just to me, like I always say, people ask me all the time, what do you think about that bike? It's great. Honda makes a great bike. To me, it's just another bike. There's nothing crazy spectacular about it. I just think that for the amount of money that they charge for it and the features and stuff that you get, there's just many other bikes out there that are better, or there's nothing better yet, or forget even the fact that there's many that are better. There's just nothing crazy unique about that bike that makes you want to like draw yourself to it, or hell, even buy 2 or 3 of them, or just be a repeat customer. Like, yeah, I had it, it was dope, but that's pretty much about it. So we'll see. Damn mosquito. So anyway, that's gonna wrap it up. So we'll see what else comes out in the new motorcycle news and stuff like that, and we'll pretty much go from there. So thanks for tuning in. If you guys have any questions or comments, let me know below, and I'll answer for you. Peace out.